Hello and welcome back to ClapTrap. We're Radio Free Wasteland and we're here for you.
We should honestly do a video on every Fallout reference we make in this stupid ass show.
Yeah, that'll be a cool compilation to see one day.
Yeah, because we're referencing it at least once an episode.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Fallout is it's been a big part of both of our lives. I guess Bethesda in general has, because I'm more of an Elder Scrolls fan than I am a Fallout fan, really. But you know,
yeah, absolutely.
I still love Fallout. Love it to death.
I do too. I'm eventually going to send you some Steam keys so you can play some of the ones you haven't played yet.
Oh, cool. That sounds dope. Yeah.
So, how about you tell our lovely audience this week's topic?
This week's topic is weaponry. Weaponry.
Fantastic.
And I picked that because I saw this book sitting on my desk last week, which I have here. I'll listen. It's a big book. There it is, hitting the desk. It is the Complete World Encyclopedia of Knives, Swords, Spears, and Daggers. I bought this book for like $30. It's a hardback, massive tome, which basically, gives an account of all swords, spears, daggers, and likewise bladed weapons throughout history and how they progressed. And it's very, very good because I'm a massive blade nerd. I'm really into swords, axes, any bladed weapon. Swords specifically, though. Mm-hmm. I got a fetish for them.
Kinky.
Yeah.
So,
I want a sword in my rectum.
How many swords do you currently own?
Oh, that's a hard thing to say. Because I'm kind of a sword snob. Sorry, was that loud?
No, how do you not know how many swords you own?
Well, because I was getting to that point, you fucking dick. I've got one sitting right next to me that Walker gave me a long time ago.
Yeah.
Hyorimaru. But it's because I am a little bit of a snob about it, and in the sword community, the things I own are known as sword-like objects.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are made of shit steel, and just they're not good. You hit somebody with one of these, and yeah, maybe you'll cut them pretty deep, but your blade will probably be bent in half. So I own a few sword-like objects. I've got one in my hand right now. I've got one hanging up over the fireplace. I've got some pretty decent, like, short machete blade stuff. Like half a dozen short-bladed weapons that are decent steel for what they are. And just dozens of knives.
Yeah. Folding
knives, pocket knives, and fixed blade hunting knives. Oh, I got a K-bar for Christmas. Wicked sharp combat knife K-bar. It's all blacked out. It's you saw it. I took it on a camping trip.
Oh yeah, I put a dent in the back of it.
Yeah, fuck you, man. I can't.
Okay.
Like I said, that one is good steel, but you'll put a dent in the back of any knife if you hit it with a shovel.
My bad. Okay.
Yeah, you're bad.
Okay, so what I'm getting from this is, even though you really love swords, I'm the only one who owns an actual sword between the two of us.
I guess you could call your cleaver more of an actual sword than what I have, yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably mild steel as well, but just like the shape and like the thickness of that thing's blade makes it pretty sustainable as a weapon.
Yeah. I mean, in 2018, I doubt I'm going to come across somebody else with a sword in combat. And if somebody breaks in without a gun...
Which is a damn shame.
Yeah, it is a damn shame. But, like, if somebody breaks in without a gun, I am comfortable calling that thing a sword.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can cut one of your swords just the blade right off of it.
Well, it wouldn't cut it, but it would definitely... if the two blades met, yours would leave a bigger bite mark in mine.
Absolutely.
Which I need to invest in a better sword because I am a sword snob and I just have never had the money to like practice my snobbery.
So, like, what kind of sword are you gonna get? Like, what culture of sword?
Kind of like a mid range or a high end budget sword. To get a sword with a blade that is carbon steel and has been properly treated, you're gonna drop like at least at like $400.
Mm-hmm.
So, Zombie Tools like makes great weapons that are like absolute tanks.
Oh
And,
yeah.
whatever. It's like the name Zombie Tools is stupid. Their post-apocalyptic vibe is cool, and it's not like super dumb looking in their weapon designs, but
Oh no, they're beautiful.
yeah, they're beautiful. So like, don't let the name Zombie Tools like turn you away if you haven't heard of it. But they are actually well-crafted weapons that don't look like that out of place in just like an outdoorsman environment. You can take them in the woods with you. You can, I don't know, fight a coyote.
Mm-hmm.
They're very well-made weapons, but they're up there for that reason, you know.
Yeah, I'm looking at them now. Like, they have everything from a Lord of the Rings-esque vibe to some sort of post-apocalyptic, over-the-top testosterone movie look, to axes, to machetes, to knives, to cleavers. From practicality to, hey, look at me. They're pretty cool, and apparently they offer a T-Rex as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what that's about, but yeah, they're dope swords. Probably going to get at least one or two of those if I ever become a wealthy man.
Mm-hmm.
And just a wealth of like historical reproductions. Like one of the most high-end historical reproduction sword makers is Albion Swords.
Mm-hmm.
And they are all about the historical accuracy, and they make in terms of the steel they're using is of course way better steel than what would have been available at the time, but they make historical reproductions of European swords, trying to base it as closely as they can on museum pieces and historical manuscript drawings.
Yeah, I've looked at both of these websites, and I'm seeing $600 a sword.
Yeah, Albion is like high range because they're all handcrafted. They all, they're good blades though.
Yeah. Yeah, like Zombie Tools was like 600, 500 range as well.
Oh yeah.
So what could you say about something you would get on True Swords for around $100, $200? What could you say about that?
True Swords, you're gonna get like what I'm holding in my hand right now, like the quote unquote battle ready swords that are mild steel, that are sharpened to a decent degree.
Well, what about
for in the $200 range? It really just depends on the maker, because in the $200 range you can find like a decent simple little carbon blade or like shit that they can sell for $200 because it is a katana, and everybody knows a katana can cut through a mountain. So
yeah, we have weeaboos to thank for katana inflation.
I like katanas. I like them a lot. They're one of, the sword-like object I'm holding right now is a katana. I've got that other katana that I got from you hanging over the fireplace, and I like them a lot. I like katanas very much. I like the design of them. They're very artful.
Mm-hmm.
They are functional blades. The curvature of the blade makes them very good cutters. But you know, it's such like a fetishistic culture surrounding them.
Yeah.
And that's not just in the weebs. Like the Japanese themselves, like started that culture. They're like overly proud of their blades.
Yes.
And they're made in such a way, they're forged historically in such a way that like made the steel pretty strong at the time that they were being made. Like nobody else was making steel that good. They fold the steel 8 times, which makes a good number of layers, and they've got a differential hardening technique so that the spine of the blade is soft, while the edge is hard, so it can retain an edge, sharp edge, and that's cool. That was really cool for the time, but like it's not anymore. We've got way better steel that you can just cut into a shape, and it's already better.
Yeah.
So I mean, the folding techniques and the it's just all so elitist.
Yeah. It feels very elitist, especially for outmoded weaponry.
Yeah. And that's how it was in feudal Japan as well. Like, that's why the only thing that came out of Japan in terms of swords was katanas, because if you didn't make a fucking perfect katana, like, that took 3 days, and you made it out of Tamahagane steel from Mount Fuji in this retarded way, then nobody would, like, would wield it.
Mm-hmm. So
it was a status symbol thing, and it was like if you weren't making a katana the way we wrote it down, then you're not making a sword.
So like in a hypothetical situation, let's say all these katana dudes are like lined up ready to test their weapon, and somebody comes out with something that's never been seen. They make fun of them, and they just cut through the sword. What would happen? They like cut through the katanas and destroyed them with what they had. What would happen with that mindset?
You know, I don't know, because they knew that the steel was not the best, because it was of course it was a thing that katanas would shatter. Like I remember reading about that. Like samurai knew that their katanas would break at some point, and that's why that's one of the reasons they carried the wakizashi, their sidearm, their smaller side sword. And it was just, I don't know, they were. It was like a sword breaking was just an inevitability that was understood. So I don't know if they would have chalked that up to that guy's sword is better than mine, or like it was just time for it to break.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
Or, I don't know, if you're in a battle and your sword breaks, your neck probably breaks next, though. You probably don't go home and think about it.
Yeah. Well, I know even today there's contests where people build katanas and test them out. And so I guess the culture is still very much alive in some.
It is, and the shape of a katana, like I said, the shape lends itself well to cutting. It's a thin blade with a sharp edge that's curved for cutting, and it's very good at it. But and so if you just make this shape of blade out of modern steel,
yeah,
it is like one of the best kind of swords you can have in terms of just cutting.
Yeah.
But in terms of dueling, obviously a heavier sword is going to be able to knock it around a little bit.
Yeah. So like,
and whether or not it breaks, that's a big thing about sword fighting is the weight of your sword. Can you obviously a smaller sword is fast or whatever, but you've got to have, like, if it comes to long sword fighting or whatever, then you've got to have enough mass to be able to push the other guy's sword out of the way so you can get to his body.
Yeah. So like, how would you compare the katana to a Spartan sword or a European sword in terms of combat efficiency?
At the time that they were being used, the steel of a katana might have been a little bit better than what was coming out of Europe. So I think that was the reason, like, Japan never had... there was some kind of conflict where European warriors... I read about it, and I can't remember, like, who they were or what they were there for. But they sailed to Japan for some kind of reason to try to, I don't know, invade or steal stuff from them, and they were outmatched because of the Japanese's superior weaponry at the time.
Yeah.
And at the time, the katana was probably superior to an English sword. It might have had a little bit less mass, but a katana does have enough mass. It is technically in the long sword category to be able to duel properly with, and it is a good cutter, and the steel was not bad.
Fair enough.
So, there you fucking go.
Cool. Incidentally, the Spartan sword is the sword that I have, for the listeners.
Yes. Which is, the name of it is a falcata, I think.
I'll Google that for
Yeah.
the listeners. I don't want to spread any false information.
False information about what kind of swords are in my closet.
Okay, ancientmilitary.com says a lot of things.
Just Google image Falcata.
How do you spell that?
Falcata.
Falcata. It's a type of sword, typically the pre-Roman southeast. Doesn't quite look correct.
Oh, man, I'm slacking on my Greco-Roman swords.
Okay, so the Spartans' main weapon was the Dory spear. Spartans always armed with Xyphos as a secondary weapon.
Xyphos is more of a double-edged.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, dude, you're. Oh yeah, the Falcata's got the right handle, but not necessarily the same blade.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, what was it? It's No, that's right. I think. No, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I'm seeing different references. The type of sword you have is still a Falcata. It's just there are two types of blades.
Okay. Because what I was getting.
I wonder if this one was even real or if it was just popularized by 300.
That's what I'm getting from this. Because, like, when you look up the historical websites, you get that picture, but when you look at what I have, you just see, like, 300 images, which I'm at peace with, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine design.
Yeah,
I'm not too much of a stickler for historical accuracy as long as the blade makes sense and is functional.
Yeah, you know, it's... The only downside to this weapon is the handle. It truly is. Like, if I could get somebody to forge a new handle for it, it would be a fine weapon.
If I was at home and I had my forge, dude, I could. I just because I guess I forgot to mention knife making was a hobby of mine before I moved somewhere where I live in an apartment and don't have access to the outdoors.
No.
But yeah, I built a little. I think I mentioned that on the episode where we were talking about college, that I built a coal forge and taught myself a little blacksmithing, and I made a couple of knives, one of which I still have, a couple of which I gave away.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very fun, and that's why I learned a lot about steel. I would just watch. Man at Arms is a good YouTube series where they make swords from video games and nerd culture.
I believe I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't seen every episode of it. It's great.
I've seen a couple episodes of it. They did a couple League of Legends weapons.
Yeah, I think it's new people doing it since they... that was a long time ago. There's a new...
Yeah.
Whatever. But, yeah, I learned a lot about steel from them and just reading blade forums. And, yeah, I was just like... I took a welding class in high school. It was a vocational class where you get to go out to the community college, and I ended up in it by accident. I was never much of like a work with my hands kind of guy, which I'm ashamed of.
Yes.
But I've definitely turned that around. But in high school, I was like a little weenie baby.
Very true.
Yeah. And so I had this kind of friend who, whatever, we weren't close or anything, but she signed up for that welding class, and she was like, Trent, you should sign up to take it with me, so I'm not, so I've got a friend in there. Like, that's how she phrased it. It was like, it's all for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I signed up for it, and then she, like a day later, she transferred out of it before we started classes. And I ended up going by myself and feeling real fish out of water because I wasn't like used to that kind of environment.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It came to a thing. I started learning welding, and I would just run welding beads up a corner for a couple hours every day, and until I got pretty good at it. And then like it came to the point where I had run like 10,000 beads, which are just lines of metal for anybody not familiar with welding. You take an electrode and you lay down. It causes an electrical arc and it melts the metal and lays it down on top of metal to fuse pieces of metal together. That's what welding essentially is. And I'd run 1,000 and 1,000 more beads, and I got pretty good at welding. And then like we started, I guess our teacher started letting us do some more, and like we learned how to cut pieces of metal out with a plasma cutter and a CNC machine. And it just came to me like, wait, I can cut out a couple of pieces of metal and weld them together and make myself a fucking tomahawk.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was still a weapon nerd.
Yeah, absolutely.
From my conception, even though I wasn't a hands-on guy. And just when I learned these skills, I was like, our teacher was cool. I think, yeah, I'm actually related to the guy. And I went up to him. I was like, "Hey, so-and-so." I'm gonna try to avoid name dropping as much as I did in episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like,
God, episode 2.
We're not talking about it. Can I make a fucking tomahawk?
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me and he was like, "Yeah, I guess so." and I did, and I made a tomahawk and I sharpened it, and I did a paracord wrap around the handle, which was metal, and it was all metal, and it's not the best because it's all flat. You know, I didn't do any forging.
Have I seen it? Okay.
Yeah, I've still got it. You should have seen it at some point.
I may have seen it, but not realized its significance.
Yeah, it was the first weapon I ever made.
Yeah.
Before a knife, before anything, I made a tomahawk. But it was, yeah, I still own it, and it was cool. And I remember my mom had to come pick it up from the community college because I couldn't take it home on the fucking school bus.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she came out there and picked it up from the guy. I was like, technically not supposed to be making weapons out here, but whatever. This is a cool tomahawk. Here you go. And I was like, dope. And yeah, it was pretty late in the year by that point, but I remember I used that class to make a couple more knives before I left, one of which I was very proud of, even though I've got so many criticisms of it now. But I made it for my dad. It was a kukri.
Mm-hmm.
And the handle construction, I remember shaping a wood handle, and like I had a guy help me with TIG welding, which is a much harder kind of welding. It's more specific to get on a little round guard and pommel onto it, and then I made wooden handle scales and epoxied those onto the tang and wrapped the handle up in leather cord. And I'm very proud of it. But I think that was basically it. But
so does your dad still have the knife? Did he like the knife? Like,
yeah, I think he was very like he's not an emotional guy, but like he definitely felt some kind of way about the fact that I had made something and wasn't a useless layabout playing video games.
mm-hmm.
And I think he treasured the gift a lot, and that meant very much a lot to me. And he still has it.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a big collection of knives, and it's displayed with the rest of them.
That's pretty amazing. I met your dad. He seems like a pretty old-fashioned fellow, but he seems like a pretty good guy.
He is. He's very reserved and to himself, for a lot of reasons. But he's a multifaceted dude.
Yeah,
he's a very cool guy. Was weird growing up with him, but I like him a lot. I like my dad.
Yeah,
my dad's a cool guy.
Shout out to T's dad.
Shout out to my dad.
Okay.
Hi, Dad.
So
I hope my dad doesn't listen to this fucking podcast.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So like, being a video game player, one of the video gamers, and a forge master, if you could make one video game weapon, what would it be? Go.
Oh, well, I mean, I could.
Mm-hmm.
If I just went back home to where my forge is for a week or something and got the materials, I could make a video game weapon. It's hard to say because as a guy who actually knows about blades, you know, any blade guy will tell you, because it's not uncommon for a blade nerd to be into video games. I think most of us are. But a major thing is like people who make video games don't know how to make swords, and so they design them poorly sometimes.
I don't know. I felt like the Elder Scrolls swords were pretty good.
Well, in Oblivion they were okay. In Skyrim they were god awful.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I can link you like several videos breaking down why Skyrim swords are like just oversized. They're all oversized and weird, and frankly, like my own personal opinion, a little cartoony.
Fair enough.
And I think there's a video where one guy like kept the same style and just like Photoshop fixed the shape of them to make more sense.
Damn. Fair enough.
Yeah. Oblivion had much better properly sized and designed swords. A lot of them were just, you could tell, like weirdo textures laid over each other and shit, but it was the shape was there. It was good. It was good. And oh, excuse me, but oh god, and Skyrim specifically, the Daedric sword.
Yeah.
Have you seen that fucking thing?
It's been a long time since I've even touched Skyrim, so we are going back to
I'm gonna look it up right now.
You know,
Daedric sword.
I'd never got the Daedric armor.
Really?
Yeah, I played mage.
Huh. I played like well, I was kind of a jack of all trades. Sometimes I was a spell sword warrior, and sometimes I was a rogue.
Yeah, I just played straight mage. Like, I was shooting lightning and had shields and shit. Got into it. I was like the dean of the College of Winterhold, and like role played that shit, and like went on missions for the college and did stuff. I don't know. I role play hard when I play those games.
Well, yeah, of course. Dude, I role played my character in Skyrim. It was like I'll tell you one of like the aspects of role playing my character came from a glitch, and I worked that glitch into my backstory.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I played Oblivion, and when I reached the Dark Brotherhood quest line, I took the choice to become a vampire, and that was cool. And I role played as a rogue vampire thief assassin, and you know, and eventually. Being a vampire in Oblivion had a lot more negative effects than it did in Skyrim.
Yeah.
And you had to feed every so often, and you couldn't go out in the sun if you hadn't fed in a couple of days, and the sun would hurt you. And all this shit. And it just became like a hassle. Because you couldn't attack somebody and just drink their blood. You had to like find a sleeping person to drink their blood, which was super weird. But yeah, it came to the point where I was like, I don't want to be a vampire anymore. I know there's a quest to cure my vampirism. I'm going to do that quest now.
Absolutely.
And on my copy of Oblivion, that quest was glitched and I couldn't finish it. So I role-played into Skyrim, which is set 200 years after Oblivion. When I started Skyrim, I made a character that looked very similar to my Oblivion character, and I said, I'm the same guy who's been alive for the past 200 years because I never found the cure to vampirism.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
Even though you couldn't start the game as a vampire, but until the point where I could be a vampire, I just imagined.
Yeah. Serana's best girl. But, you know...
Serana... God, fuck you, Todd Howard, for not letting me marry Serana. What the fuck is wrong with you? You made me fall in love with her, and then you fucking cock-teased Todd Howard.
You know, I fucking modded the game where I could do that.
Yeah, I know, but I played it on Xbox, so I couldn't do that.
And that's why Bethesda makes the only games where PC is better. Only games.
Minecraft.
Very true. Minecraft is better on PC.
Minecraft and Bethesda.
So like, it's weird to me that the tomahawk incident happened because I had a buddy of mine who made a fucking battle axe, carried around it in his backpack, and like got on the bus and went home with it. So, I mean, it is what it is ultimately.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just didn't have that kind of abandon that guy had. I guess I wasn't reckless enough to risk bringing a weapon into a high school and finding out what would happen if I was caught with it.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is good proof that nothing bad would have come of it, but
Yeah.
whatever. You know, I once got busted hard for having a pocket knife in high school.
I remember that. You got it out to sharpen a pencil in...
Yeah, the fucking teachers didn't have fucking... the pencil sharpener. They had electric pencil sharpeners only, and they were all busted. I couldn't sharpen my fucking pencil, and they were like, "Do your fucking work." It's like, I need a pencil. Do you have a pencil? No. Can I go down the hall to use somebody else's pencil sharpener? No, you can't leave a fucking classroom. So, do your work, even though you don't have a pencil. So I discreetly pulled out my pocket knife from my pocket under my desk and sharpened my pencil, and just so I could do my classwork.
Mm-hmm.
And some fucking rat student was like, I'm gonna make this guy's day bad, and went and told somebody that I had just a little pocket knife, and like I had to go to the principal's office, and they took it away, and they were like, "What the fuck? You can't have this!" And my dad had to come get it back.
In southeastern Kentucky, no less.
Yeah.
Cultural
Like everybody
staple.
had a pocket knife in that school, and you know they did.
Yeah, like, I remember one time, my senior year, so the teacher was like, "Hey," she shut the door and goes, "All right, fellas, I know y'all got your pocket knives. I need to borrow one. You won't be in trouble." And we whipped out a small arsenal, and this one guy had like an 8-inch blade tucked away somewhere in his 5-foot body.
I remember like meeting Bailey specifically and dating somebody from not Appalachia.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and just like having online friends and such. Mm-hmm. It's just like carrying a pocket knife. You don't leave the house. You get your wallet, you get your keys, you get your pocket knife. You never go anywhere without it.
Yes.
Where we come from,
Mm-hmm.
and just like everybody like that I met that wasn't from here, and like I had a pocket knife on me, they were like, "Why do you have that? Are you going to hurt somebody?" And I'm like, "What? No, I need it to open like blister packs I buy from the store, and like just random daily stuff. Like, how do you get by not being able to cut items?"
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that's not. I don't know. I said earlier with the fucking story about how I took the welding class that I wasn't a hands-on guy, but I guess I was not a hands-on guy to the people around me because of the culture I lived in, but because of that culture I was somewhat of a hands-on person just from growing up where I did, and like understanding that sometimes you need to cut and shape things, I guess. So yeah. So I guess it makes sense being a nerd in that kind of environment that I would have become a weapons guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know. Do you want to talk about any of your experiences with weaponry? I feel like I've ranted about mine.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We're actually going to manage to stay on topic this episode because you were truly passionate.
For a little while. I want to diverge into something kind of related later because I've got like a whole thing I want to say about it, but
okay, cool.
That's later on.
I've always managed to keep knives myself. I'm a collector of knives. I have a lot of knives that you need concealed carry to own. Like I have a switchblade, a sister switchblade to the one I gave you. It's
right. Yeah. You got me a switchblade for my birthday, I think.
Yes, I did.
Very very sharp blade.
Christmas.
I use it to open letters all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Christmas. Yeah.
It's
you
didn't
that
have
thing
one.
stays sharp, man. Yeah.
And it made me sad that you didn't have one, so I had to get you one.
Well, now I have one, and I'm very glad I do, and I thank you immensely for it. And anybody listening out there who's about to call the police,
it is legal in Kentucky.
It is legal. It's a flip-out switchblade. It's not a eject switchblade that comes right out of the handle. It flips out like any other assisted opening knife. It's fully legal. Everything you know is wrong.
Yeah, Kentucky has very lax knife laws. As long as you have your concealed carry, you can have that. And honestly, the ones that shoot straight up, you can still get those in Kentucky, and it's fine.
Yeah.
So Sucks to be wherever you
those
are.
those are the ones that are usually illegal in other states that are like strictly illegal.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, oh my god, there are so many. I remember because when I started taking like long road trips to other states to see people, I remember like meeting people online. I was like, they were weird about knives, and so I was like, well, before I go to this state, I better look up what their knife laws are.
Yeah.
And oh my god, every other state has such a laundry list of like weird little things that you can't have that are just like it's a little piece of metal. I could break a pair of scissors in half and have this thing you say is illegal.
Yeah, dude. No, fucking New York City. There's these things called gravity knives, and the law is so gray that if a cop finds you and you have a knife like a folding knife and they're able to flip it with their wrist, like 7 cops could be unable to flip.
If they're able to flip it with their wrist, that just means your screw is a little bit loose and you tighten your folding knife up a little bit.
If 7 cops can't flip it, but the 8th one can, you're going to prison for a gravity knife.
Let's not move to New York City.
Absolutely.
I think.
I like, it's so bad in other states. The only knife I would ever carry is one of the ones that open up to a pair of needle nose pliers, the multi-tools, or a Swiss Army, utility blade.
Yeah, that's
isn't
very, very much like, because they give like Boy Scouts Swiss Army knives, which they should, and they should give Boy Scouts like 8-inch hunting knives too, if you ask me. But but yeah, it's very much like it. You have to disguise it as a tool because, I mean, pocket knives are tools.
They are.
Like sometimes if they look too much like a weapon. I mean, they can be used as such, and I carry my pocket knife, and I'm like, it's a utility. I use this to do things in my daily life. But if somebody comes up to me with a baseball bat, I can put this in their throat too.
Absolutely, and
so that's nice. That's just another functionality of this tool.
Yeah, and but back to my knife collection. I have butterfly knives. Knives that shoot switchblades that go straight up, switchblades that flip open. I've got one outdoor knife that I actually found while working on grounds. I pulled it up and it was pure orange. And I do knife restoration, and I managed to restore it up to the point.
Yeah, you showed me that knife. You said it was I thought it was a kitchen knife.
It looks like it, but it also kind of looks like it's like from Frontier Forge. And it's like,
I think that's is that not a kitchen knife manufacturer?
I'm not entirely sure because that thing's so damn good for a kitchen knife.
I've seen the blade of it, and honestly, I would say it's usable for either.
Yeah.
With the right kind of handle on it, it could be a very nice outdoors knife. It's got a wide blade. It's got a good tip.
It feels like a skinning knife.
Could very well be. It's got that curved tip, so.
It's got the nice
might not
ingrain.
make a bad one.
I might, I'll probably link a picture of it in the description of this one, if anybody wants to look at it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Maybe I can put that on screen or something. I don't know. That's too much fucking work. Don't give me any fucking work to do.
I'm going to link a picture.
Okay.
That seems so much better. I'm not sure where I'll put the picture. Probably on my own personal Twitter. Something like that.
Sure.
But
people on Twitter who haven't watched the video will be like, what's this picture of a kitchen knife with no captions, Ed? Honestly, that would be pretty on par for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
but it's probably the most stylized kitchen knife ever because of the ingrain in the blade.
Yeah, it's got like 3 little folders along the spine or something, if I remember correctly.
Gorgeous.
I can't remember my own birthday, but I remember what this one knife you showed me that one time looks like.
And I remember you being impressed with it. Like you flip the blade and listen to it, and you're like, "Damn."
Yeah. You can flick it. You can tell to a degree what kind of steel you're working with by the ring, and it's so high carbon steel makes that. Oh yeah, And then if you hit like a low carbon steel kitchen knife, you flick it. It just sounds like you're hitting plastic. It's like.
Yeah.
Whereas if you scrape a piece of metal against a high carbon blade, it sings.
You know what's really
I'm gay. What?
You know what's really cool about that blade? after I completely derusted it and restored it to the point that I did, I ran it over a piece of cardboard to test the sharpness, and it still cut through the cardboard and the paper and like a piece of paper afterwards. I think after a good stropping job, that thing will be ready to shave after being buried in all those leaves and being orange.
That's an impressive restore job, Zed. I'm proud of you.
I didn't sharpen it though. That's not me. That's the manufacturers creating that quality of a item.
Yeah, edge. You can. They're the kind of steel you work with. You know, you can get a good edge on like stainless steel, but edge retention is very important. Like you can sharpen a piece of crap steel to razor sharpness, but it does one thing and it's gone.
Yeah,
it starts to eat away at that edge, and you've got to. It's the kind of steel you're using, and how you heat treat. You've got to quench and then subsequently temper it. Excuse me, and yeah, keeping an edge and not needing to be sharpened as often is very important.
Yeah,
because you don't want to cut one piece of paper and then have to sharpen your knife to cut the second piece of paper.
I actually have a couple knives that are cheaper, but I use them around the house as utility tools that I find myself putting on the stone every 2 weeks. It's pretty rough. I mean, I'm pretty good at the stone. I'm not amazing at it, but I get it to where I can do any sort of utility cut, you know. It's not amazing, but it'll cut through that plastic you want it to cut through. So
Yeah, I got you. And just the people out there who don't have knives on their daily life, how do they open a pack of fucking headphones? You know, anything you get from the store that comes in like the hard plastic blister packs, how the fuck do you get into those?
They have
scissors. You go home and you open them when you find shears. Like, no, I want everything on the go.
I think the answer is actually a box cutter.
Fuck box cutters.
Yeah, they.
That's okay. Another thing about like not having knives in places. I laugh, just lose my shit. I either just put my head in my hands and be sad, or I lose my shit laughing every time I watch an anime and somebody kills somebody with a box cutter. That happens so often because it's like in a domestic violence setting. That's the only kind of weapon they have access to.
Like even
get a hammer. Get a hammer before you get a fucking box cutter. What are you doing?
Or even a Norman Bates kitchen knife. You know, that would make for a much better prop.
Right. Like, I'm surely the Japanese are allowed to have kitchen knives.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe they're not as concealable as a deadly box cutter. I don't know.
Yeah, deadly box cutter. God, have you seen?
I've seen so many anime where it's like there are two types of box cutter. There's the one where you put in like just a single razor blade, and then there's one where you extend out a breakable razor blade or whatever.
Yeah.
And the latter kind, I've seen so many like yandere anime girls like pull one out and dramatically extend the blade all the way. And I'm like, is that supposed to be intimidating? I'm not.
Dude, I'm gonna get a pretty sweet knock on wood. My dad's said he was gonna give me one. It's handmade out of a piece of some sort of steel that came from a mine. And the handle's an antler, like a deer antler.
Oh, nice.
And it's
I got an antler last time. I've never been on a successful hunting trip. I've been on hunting trips, but I've never bagged a deer. And the last time my dad bagged a deer, he had like recently injured himself and needed my help to butcher it. And I was like, okay, Dad, I'll help you skin and butcher this deer, but you gotta hook me up with one of those antlers, dude. And he was like, damn you, son. Okay. And I still have it, and I'm planning to use it to make the handle of a knife the next time I have time to put into knife making. Which maybe I will if I end up moving back home, but you know, that's all still up in the air right now.
Yeah.
But that would be a major benefit of living back home, would be the access to outside.
Yeah, just all the redneckery.
All the redneckery, all the trees, all the animals, all the fucking green and nature. I love it.
It really is just a question of, do you chase after your culture or the money? And being young,
Yeah.
we feel inclined to chase the money in the cities, but there's that part of us that are like,
But it's like I'm not making that much money up here anyway, and I'm not having fun. I don't have time. I'm working all the time. I don't have time to go out to the city every weekend.
mm-hmm.
And, you know, I would be making less money down there, but it might level out. If I can find a decent job down there, it would level out with the, like, low cost of living in that poverty-stricken area.
Maybe. Big maybe.
It's like I said, it's all up in the air. I'm running the numbers. I'm trying to figure out what I can do to make it viable. And maybe if it doesn't turn out to be viable, I just can't do it, you know. Because I got a life to lead. I got somebody I'm supporting now. I've got bills to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all just up in the air in terms of what can be done.
Yeah.
And I hope I can do it. I think I would like it.
Yeah.
One thing I wouldn't like about it as well is how hard it is to get out of there, because I you know, it's home is a place you come back to, and I would like coming back to there.
Yeah.
But it's a place you come back to after going to see something else, and I like going on trips. I love going on trips.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing other parts of the country and experiencing things that aren't my daily life.
Yeah.
Harlan is not a good port to sail from.
No, it is not.
It's you have to drive an hour and a half to reach the interstate ramp.
It's pretty trash, honestly.
And the closest airport is 2 hours south.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like, since you've already doxed the county, why don't you?
We've doxed the county in like the last couple of episodes.
Fair enough. Why don't you move someplace that's like closer to home?
Because I want to be
But
right
not
where my family is.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also, if I'm right there, they own a lot of land, and like from like when I was a child, they've been like, listen, dude, when you grow up, if you want to live here, we'll throw a few acres your way for free.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, oh my god, I'd save $1 million. You know,
Mm-hmm,
if I want to be a landowner, and like I've got free land, my parents own like 70 acres of land, which is like
mind blowing.
Yeah, it is, and it's all beautiful up in the mountains too.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely, yeah, my dad's
like to have a piece of that would just be something few men can accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I would be accomplishing it; I would just be given it. But yeah, I don't feel bad about that. Whatever.
You know,
I've said this. I think to people at work before. It's like, you know, people who are like rude to you for like sometimes getting a lucky break or whatever. Like, oh, what I had to earn that. It's like, listen, you and me are no different. I promise you, life is gonna fuck me somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna take shortcuts where I can.
Yeah, right.
And you would do the same thing.
I'm probably going to start saying that to people.
Yeah. It's a
a
very good argument, I think. But fucking everybody takes shortcuts because life is hard, and like, don't worry about my life not being hard enough. I'm gonna encounter hardships somewhere, many places. So you and me both are going to take shortcuts where we can find them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, life's a rough fucking deal.
Did you want to say anything else about your knife collection, or?
Knife.
I feel like we went off on a couple of tangents there.
Yeah, my knife collection. Like, I got a bunch of stuff that I need a concealed carry to carry.
Yeah.
But as far as like everyday carry knives, they don't survive with me. They get broken or lost or shattered or.
Yeah. You've seen my little green-handled Gerber knife.
Yeah, you pack that thing.
That's my EDC. I carry it everywhere. It treats me so well.
I'm still looking, like that one I sent you recently, that generic Swiss Army. I don't have that anymore.
What happened to it?
I left it in a dude's truck at work because I got that knife with the sole intention of working on weed eaters. Which, for those that don't know, I'm a grounds worker currently. And what happened was is I left it in some dude's truck, and a guy I worked with, knife broke, and he recently pulled it out of his pocket to work on something in front of me. Had no idea that used to be mine. And what I think happened is, fuck, my multi-tool broke. Hey, whose knife is this? I don't fucking know. Take it. It's yours, I guess. Which sounds a lot like the culture down there. But I paid $1 for it, and if he needs that knife, a Dollar Tree knife that bad, then I'm not going to say anything.
Can you get knives at the Dollar Tree?
Yes, you can. You can get...
Holy shit. I love Appalachia. I'm moving back. Yeah, I just decided.
You can get a basic carry knife or a very generic Swiss Army knife at the Dollar Tree.
You can get a pretty decent EDC for $20. I dropped $20 on this green-handled knife, and I've been carrying it every day of my life for years.
Yeah. Oh, dude, when you come down...
So, yeah.
You need... Let's go to Corbin.
Okay.
Because at the Vendors Mall, there's this knife cabinet.
Oh, yeah.
And it's your wet dream, it really is.
Zed, I'll tell you what. Because that's backwards, why don't you learn to drive and meet me in Corbin? Sorry.
It's a work in progress. It's a big work in progress.
Yeah. I can't believe you've owned a car for years. Well, I mean, at least it's good to know that once you finally get your license, that's taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those wondering, life dealt me a very bizarre hand. I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's bad. It was just fucking weird. And I played those cards the best I could, and I've managed to get on my feet 100% adulting, except a piece of plastic, which is my driver's license. Now, I know how to drive. I just need a little help with the practicing at the turnabout and the parallel parking. I can get it one out of 7
Your
times.
only issues with driving, Zed, are the fact that you don't do it enough to feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, that's the fucking problem. Like, it's a 2-person endeavor, getting your driver's license. If it was a 1-person endeavor, like, if the legal system allowed it to be a 1-person endeavor, I'd be down there every Monday morning trying for it. But I need somebody. Consistently, and it's such a fucking pain. When you're...
And I'm trying to help, but I live so far away and I don't have the cash to drive down there to you every weekend.
Well, I got somebody coming next week. Had somebody come last week.
But are you driving like a bunch of different cars?
No, same car.
Oh, okay. Well, I was about to say, if it's a bunch of different people and a bunch of different cars, that's a weird way to learn.
And then, I'm gonna pay my sister to come and help me. And then, let's see, you're gonna come down soon and show me, you said. So,
yeah.
I got a lot going on for me in that direction. It's just, I'm at the mercy of everybody else. So.
Yeah. We're gonna take it slow after last time.
You know, as far as driving the course itself, I can do the course fine. Yeah. It's just the too technical shit. I just need lots and lots of practice on the technical shit. And then I could get that fucking driver's license. Because, you cruise the course at 15, 20 miles an hour. I can fucking do that.
Yeah, highway speeds are a different thing.
Mm-hmm. And then once I get my license, I can just...
practice that in your own time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, I mean, damn, be careful.
Yeah, I know. I'm fully aware. I've driven to Corbin and back before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A buddy of mine has taken me down there. He's like, because he was very do or die. He's like, jump in my car, we're going to Corbin, to GameStop or Walmart or Lowe's, and just...
Right.
We'd cruise down there in the middle of the night and hit it up, live it up.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's the thing I would do with Scott and the guys back in Harlan all the time. Mm-hmm. When I was living down there a couple of years ago, we would just get up with each other in the middle of the night and just drive around. And sometimes we would be we would just drive around and smoke big old cigars and just shoot the shit. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we were like, hey, let's drive to... It was 2 in the morning. Let's drive to Middlesboro. Let's drive to Corbin. Just to do it. Because all we did was drive and talk. And that was... Oh man, some of the best memories of my life, just in a car in the middle of the night in the mountains, surrounded by a cloud of cigar smoke.
And it pains me dearly that I am denied that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry, dude. We'll take some like hardcore road trips when we can, because that's something every man needs in his life. It's just some bro time in a car.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So, we're still podcasting. We're an hour and 5 in.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That
and
is
I haven't
amazing.
even exhausted all I have to say.
Fucking, let's awkwardly segue into the next topic. What's on your mind?
Okay, well, it kind of relates to the topic of weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to get into any kind of debate concerning gun control, but, we talked about bladed weapons, but guns are weaponry too.
Yeah.
And what are guns sometimes used for? Hunting animals.
Yes.
And I saw something, Bailey read me this article that she found on Twitter recently that was like, people on Twitter like to get upset about things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a cesspool.
And I think it might have been Wyoming. Don't quote me on that, though. I can't say. I meant to get the article from Bailey before we recorded today, but I just was busy and forgot. But there is some state in the Midwest, I think, because that's where grizzly bears are, that, the Fish and Wildlife Department is, like, giving out tags to hunt 22 grizzly bears, I think.
Yes.
And people were mad about it. Animal rights activists were mad about it on Twitter. And I would like to talk about why hunting is good for animals.
Okay, that's an interesting thing.
And I think you've been going to school to work in the Parks Department for a while, so I'm sure you could back up a lot of what I'm saying here. But, God, I think this article was just laced with false information.
Yes.
As they often are,
Absolutely.
about how, like, oh my God, they're legalizing the hunting of grizzly bears because of the Trump administration, because Trump is a monster and nobody cares about the grizzly bears and everybody wants a bearskin rug, and I'm
Okay, so there's two questions that immediately pop in my mind. What is the current grizzly bear population?
Exactly.
And
that's what it is. It doesn't have.
Is it problematic?
Yeah, that's what it is. I meant to look that up, and I'm sure that's what they're doing because the Trump administration's got nothing to do with things concerning this. No, I don't think any presidential cabinet has anything to say about things like this, because the Fish and Wildlife Department lets you, bars you from and lets you hunt certain animals for population control.
Yes.
If like there's such a specific number, 22 grizzly bears. Yeah. And that's because the Fish and Wildlife Department has done a census, determined that the grizzly bear population is 22 grizzly bears too high for the preservation of other species of animals and maybe some plants that they like in the area. And they're doing a culling to protect other pieces of nature. And that's what it's all about. And, people who don't grow up in an environment of hunting might not know that, like, they don't know anything about the culture. They just think it's a bunch of meathead rednecks going out because they want to kill something.
Which isn't entirely untrue.
Right. Granted, a lot of that happens. But it's controlled. It's controlled. And anybody who doesn't follow the rules is slapped with a big old fine.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, and so you have to go out to hunt on public land in your state. You have to go and get a hunting license.
Yes.
And that license lasts for 12 months, and you have to pay an amount of money for it. That money goes right into the Fish and Wildlife and the Park Service.
You have to...
And,
You have to purchase your animal tag to hunt...
Yeah, animal tags.
And for each tag...
Which is not the same as the hunting license.
No.
That's an additional thing, and it's a limited amount of animals on the tag.
Yeah, so, like, if you get a tag to kill, say, one deer, then you get to kill one deer. Anything beyond that's poaching. Now, I'd like to very briefly discuss hunting ethics. So, I have family that's in such extreme poverty that they hunt to put meat on the table and stock up for winter. and they hunt and fish for that, and they dig ginseng and stuff like that. So
Right.
I view
Which is a very common thing in Appalachia, which is just
that
horribly poverty-stricken area.
that is still a very firm reality where we're from. So
Yeah.
I think that is ethical hunting, and I believe that if you have your deer tag and you will eat the beast, that's okay. But I've been in situations where me and my father will be driving and we'll be like, oh shit, look at that deer swim across the river, and we stop and watch the deer and we're admiring its beauty and talking about how fucking amazing it is to watch something like that. Then we go up to a traffic stop for like a church donation or something, and they're like, why didn't you shoot it?
Yeah. Because it's like it is a sport to many people.
Yeah, which is totally incorrect. It is not.
And I mean, I get that mindset. It's like the hunter is very much ingrained into the human genome or whatever by now, and it's like there is something very spiritual about the hunt.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
and I get that, and it's like it's a game of life and death, whatever. But like it should at its core serve a purpose.
yeah. Hunting is not a sport. It is an ancient art of survival.
Yes.
And I firmly believe that if you're going to kill a beast, to chop its head and put it on the wall and let the carcass lie, you have done nothing but damage. It has to have a constructive purpose.
I would say there is a constructive purpose in hunting something you might not eat if it is a predator which is causing damage to the local environment.
Yeah, like the bears, for example. I can see how there is an argument for that, but I don't know. Like I still, I'd be damned if I didn't say I want to know what grizzly bear tastes like.
I'm right there with you, dude.
You know,
another good example is back home. A few years ago, I think there's always been coyotes, but I think it got to such a point where the Fish and Wildlife Department was like, we'll pay you $50 a head to get rid of some coyotes.
Yeah, and that is a thing. And that's, I'm going to touch on gun control a little bit.
Sure.
So
I think it's kind of becoming
me.
Clear where we stand on that. But go ahead.
Sickens me that people want to ban all firearms when I have family in such extreme poverty that they still have to hunt to eat.
Right. The people who, are often on that bandwagon live in like suburban towns or city bubbles and don't understand like what life is outside of their little place.
Completely ignorant to poverty in Appalachia. And
like I said, my parents own a lot of land, but they came into that land through like kind of like weird circumstances. Like it's not because they're massively rich. Like my dad makes I would say they're still lower class. They're like upper lower class. But not to shame my family or anything. There's nothing wrong with that. But they got that land for like very cheap because of some weird circumstances, and they were very grateful for it, and they've done great things with it. And my dad does still hunt that land, which you can hunt your private land without a hunting license because it's yours, and the wildlife population on your land is yours to control to a certain degree. But. And so, I mean, anybody from an outside perspective who looks at that and sees my dad on his private land, like hunting deer, is like, oh my God, you're killing deer. I hate you. But what they don't know is like, well, of course we are eating that deer because food is expensive sometimes, and my dad works hard to like afford everything.
Yes.
And if he can save some money by like because whatever, like what's the difference between hunting a deer in the wild and like butchering a pig in a pen?
Yeah.
But they'll say, oh, that's so brutal that he's just out there killing deer with a gun. But also my dad tends that land. Like there's such a bigger deer population on my parents' land than there was when they moved there like 16, 17 years ago or something. No, it wasn't that long. 15 years? I don't know. But because my dad has like worked hard to make it like a place where deer can thrive. He like plants deer grass, which is of course a grass they like to eat. He can, when he sees coyotes, he runs them off, so they don't harm the deer. And like, they've lived on that land through several generations of deer, and my dad has worked hard to like make it a good place for deer, and now they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And he built that. He increased the deer population, and he is just like reaping the fruits of his labor when he goes out and harvests one for food.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't understand is, which I'm going to address a lot of arguments very quickly. So the way a lot of the poverty works is you grow vegetables for food, you dig ginseng, and some people do sell weed, which it is still legal in Kentucky, to make ends meet. And what they do with the ginseng money is they buy a small thing of bullets. And that thing of bullets will last them how many seasons worth of hunting? So it becomes an investment.
Yeah.
And the investment allows you to kill the deer. Now, when it comes to killing deer, many of us have a code of ethics. Like, we will not kill a mother or a female in general. It's usually a buck. We kill the males. And
right. That's not always the case, because I know there is like a smaller buck population. Like sometimes there are too many doe, and the buck is what you want to go for. But yeah, if you can bag a doe, like people will and do.
Well, there's a reason you can buy the piss to attract the horny male.
Yeah. Oh my God! If you've been in the sporting goods section of Walmart in Harlan County, have you seen the weird? Okay, this might be a little, I don't know, gory and gruesome, but like the butthole removers.
No.
I just remember seeing that, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Because
I think I saw that when I was younger, and I had never been involved with butchering a deer before, and I went to my dad, and I was like, I saw a butthole remover at Walmart today. I never thought about that. He was like, yeah, dude, when I get a deer, the first thing I do is pull out my knife and cut out its butthole. You don't want that in your meat.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I forget where we were.
I was discussing. I was talking about a bunch of arguments. And, a lot of people talk about the I guess the sportsmanship of it, which I don't think it's a sport at all. But something
I don't think it's a sport, but I do understand, like, being able to enjoy it in some aspect. Like, I don't think you're a monster for going hunting and having fun.
Yeah. One thing my dad does, and I think it's more of an honor thing, he uses a black powder rifle, which takes 4 or 5 minutes to fucking load. It's damn near a colonial musket. And that's what he hunts with.
When I worked in the sporting goods and I sold guns, you don't need a background check to buy a black powder rifle.
Really?
And people who don't know what a black, I'm pretty sure, you don't. And like some of them were just out. They were kind of locked in a cage, but they weren't like put up the same way the other guns were. But because a black powder rifle is so hard to use, it's classified as a primitive weapon. It's not a modern firearm because it's a black powder rifle is, of course, it shoots a little ball, like a musket ball with black powder, and it's what they used when they fought the fucking American wars, and it's just a little handheld cannon, and it's so hard to use.
It's a fine hunting rifle.
Yeah,
it is a fine hunting rifle. It was,
but it's one shot and done.
It was. Fucking get good. It was great 200 years ago, and it's great today for putting meat on the table. And that's something my old man.
I mean, so is the bow and arrow. Like, there's plenty of bow hunters.
I am an owner of a compound bow.
Nice.
I'll have to. Oh God, I may get the pleasure of playing with it tomorrow because I'm going to run around with my dad and probably go back up to his house, and I'm probably going to shoot my bow a few times.
Hell yeah!
Absolutely.
I want to make me a good maple recurve bow, just handcrafted.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Man, we're really showing our redneck stripes in this episode.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, like I have no intention of hiding that aspect of myself.
No, like,
And I don't know. It's like people like it's so associated with stupidity, and I try to like be an educated dude, and I hope I'm coming across that way in a lot of aspects. I'm also a bullshitter and just like a jokester, you know, like I don't care. But I'd like to think of myself as pretty intelligent. I don't think I'm a fucking genius or anything, but I think I've got a decent amount of intelligence, and you know, I like to think of myself as an analytical guy who is able to break down things, and it's like
got yourself a real good brain.
well, thank you. But yeah, I got myself one of them good brains. It's all wrinkly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's I feel like maybe putting out the fact that I'm from just the word Kentucky has such a negative cultural connotation to it.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, Kentucky. Like, oh my god, my girlfriend's family like shits on her so hard for moving to Kentucky.
Yeah.
And like eat my entire asshole and kill yourself.
Ooh.
Like and like you can still like have traditional aspects to your life. You don't have to live like in a concrete box and drive a BMW to have intelligence.
Yeah. And there's so much more to Kentucky than the fucking southeastern region.
Oh my god.
People forget that we have a handful of big fucking cities, and
yeah, I'm up here in the Lexington area right now, and it's all horses and bourbon up here, which is awesome.
oh, fucking Kentucky bourbon is something special.
Dude, I've been sipping on Evan Williams over here right now.
Have you?
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I'm just drinking it like out of the bottle all the time. Just the Evan Williams honey, it's so smooth.
It's one of the very few whiskeys I can drink straight from the bottle, and you witnessed that.
And it's that honey, man. I've been working my way up to that. I've been building my alcohol tolerance for the past year and a half. I'm 22 now, 22 and a half. But so I've been working on that, and this is going to be a good segue into just being able to drink like other stronger whiskeys straight. Is my goal.
I'm excited to see. Like, my tolerances went down, so
because you've stopped drinking so much. Yeah.
I am.
Have you quit altogether, or is this a bad forum for that discussion? Okay.
My current stance on alcohol is occasionally I'll get me a 6-pack every few weeks, every couple months or so, and I watch me something on Netflix, usually a stand-up comedian, and down the 6-pack. That's me right now.
But in terms of beer, like I don't even think about beer like in the idea of becoming inebriated anymore. It doesn't like do that for me unless I drink a keg by myself in 20 minutes. You know,
a good 6 bottles, I view it as a good time, a good casual. Let's watch a stand-up comedian usually, or a horror movie. Hell, I like Mike's Hard a lot. It's my casual drink when I don't feel like impressing anybody.
I'm always worried about my image. That's why I drink Corona.
Smirnoff has that the screwdriver, which I really like citrus. So the orange juice, that's really good. But when I'm with a group of people and I feel like showing off a bit of machismo, I'm down in whiskey. Is what it is.
Yeah, I feel you, man. When you want people to know how cultured you are.
Yeah, I was like, let's see how much of a badass this guy is, which I'm going to bring a bunch of shot glasses to your Halloween party, and I got those duo.
How and when that's actually going to happen, or if it does, we'll have to see. Because like I said, we've got that Ren Fair trip.
The day after, isn't it?
The day after, maybe. I was trying to schedule it to maybe where those happen on 2 different weekends. But I've also got, the last weekend in October, which is fucking 2 days before Halloween. My cousin's getting married, and I'm like, why the fuck did you put your wedding at Halloween? That's a conflict of interest. Like, I want to do Halloween. Fuck off. And get married some other time.
Yeah, that just kind of fucks with everybody. No, I'm a grown-ass man, and I still dress up for Halloween.
We're gonna dress up for the Ren Fair, that's for sure. If I can fucking get a costume in time, but we'll see about that because I'm probably gonna be picky about what it is because I still want to be a respectable fucking woodland wizard.
Worst case scenario, you can borrow one of mine. I have a rogue and a bard suit, so.
Yeah. We'll see when we get there though. We need to hit up Cedric and see if he's still down. I don't even know where the guy's living right now. Right.
I think we'll talk about that off podcast.
Right. But yeah, I like alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Alcohol.
I'm not as much of an addictive person, so I think I control myself around it well. I got super wasted like twice, and I was like, oh, I feel sick. I'm not gonna do it very often. So I control myself to where I get comfortably drunk, and then I'm like, this is where I'll stay. And I try to control how often I do that as well. I'll have a little glass of bourbon some nights after work, or a beer with supper. A few glasses of wine here and there, but like I don't drink all the time.
Yeah.
I don't even get drunk every weekend. Like I don't care.
Yeah. Well, I find a 6-pack gets me loopy, but I'm still very in control.
Yeah, I can get there with a 6-pack, but I have to I have to do it on an empty stomach. If I've eaten a decent meal and then I have a 6-pack, I won't really feel anything except bloated.
Ooh, that means your alcohol tolerance is a lot higher than mine right now.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I'm like working on raising it constantly. Like that's an actual thing that I am consciously trying to do, is raise my alcohol tolerance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't much care for the argument. It's like haha lightweight. It's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either because like B, she's got a low alcohol tolerance.
Yeah.
And she drinks for a hell of a lot cheaper than I do.
Yeah, it's like that's what I tell people. It's like, don't fucking worry about being a lightweight because you're just saving more money than everybody else, you know?
Yeah, you're saving more money and you're having fun faster.
Absolutely, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I got to tell this story on. Do you care if I tell the bourbon story on her?
On B, I don't remember a bourbon story.
Okay, I'm gonna tell it, and if it's bad, I'll cut it out. So, I showed her the Evan Williams honey, and I was like, "Here, take a sip of this." And as soon as it hit her tongue, she hit the sink.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm conditioning her to it.
Oh Lord.
Put that in. I'll have to pay for it later, but that's going in the episode.
Does she listen to these?
She has been, I think. I imagine she'll fall off when we have so many of them because like, who has time to listen to all this, and who fucking wants to?
Yeah, I imagine like when we get the following, it'll be, oh, this is a topic that I'm interested in.
Right, like it'll be like people like you'll have to be a weirdo to listen to every episode. A weirdo that I cherish deeply.
We love,
but a weirdo nonetheless, and yeah, and the fan base I think will definitely be like selective about what they listen to, even though the fact, I don't know, maybe this is podcasts for me are always like, I put it on. There is one podcast I listen to every episode of, but it's because I like the personalities in it, and like I'm not sitting there with a bucket of popcorn like hanging on every word they say. I put it on, and it's like a conversation is going on in the room while I'm doing work.
Yeah.
And that's the way I treat podcasts. So maybe there will be a decent number of people who listen to all of these if they end up thinking that we're cool guys. But just don't get weird about it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
you can. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not your dad. Get weird. I don't care.
Dude.
But
like, if people want to sit down and put us on and listen to us chew the shit while they're cooking their meal or reading a book, that's cool.
Right. I also put on podcasts when I'm cooking. That's perfect. That's perfect. When I'm making that real Italiano.
I put on records. I'm a record collector. I got a real...
I plan to be a record collector.
It's so easy to get into. $30 for a record player, and then you go to thrift stores, find them for 50 cents to $1, and it broadens your musical taste because you discover shit you wouldn't have discovered otherwise.
I think we've talked about this. I don't know if it was on podcast or not, but It's like I want to be a record collector, but like selectively.
Oh.
Like anything that I don't want to like hang on the wall as a vinyl record, I'll buy on CD or download.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you just want those albums that... yeah, we've talked about this. You want the albums that affected you. I'm the opposite. Right. I occasionally... like, I have a Les Paul and Mary Ford record at this point that stays on my fucking record player. Like,
I mean, maybe I could have maybe I'd put the albums that affected me on the wall, and then I could just have like a little crate of whatever next to the record player.
Yeah, it's fun. You get a real rush from going out, spending $3 on 6 records at some places, and then going home and discovering music you hadn't.
Bailey took me to this little record store in Pennsylvania when I went up there to see her home. And help her move down here.
Yeah.
But it was so cool. It was like this little record store in this old building, because a lot of the buildings up there are historical, because it's kind of a posh little town, whatever. But it's got a lot of historical buildings that were built a long time ago, and you could tell it was aged, and it was very aesthetic in that sense. But it was a little record store, and they had a couple of Street Fighter cabinets.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very cool.
But yeah, I'd like to do a quick shout out to the 7 subscribers to the YouTube channel. We have hit 7.
We have 7 subscribers? Hold on, let me confirm this.
Looking at that right now. I was going to go to talk about 6, but we hit 7. Fucking stoked.
It's weird that we can't see who they are, because I would like to know how many of them are like you, me, and my girlfriend. Like, you know, subscribers like that.
Like Twitter.
Yeah. That's got to be like at least 3 people that are here for the show, right? Like
at least.
Shout out to you.
Absolutely. We love you.
Thank you. We've been talking like there were people listening this whole time, but I didn't know there actually were.
We would have a lot more if you would have tweeted out episode 2.
You're right. Was I supposed to?
Yeah, we whoever chose the topic gets to tweet it out, which I get to tweet out episode 3.
Oh my god, I did. I even made that rule and I didn't remember it.
Yep.
I think I made that rule because you picked the first topic, and I didn't want to make the tweet.
Do you want me to just keep making them?
Fuck. I mean, I don't care to do it. I just forgot.
Well, the way
so it's whatever.
Yeah.
But thank you. Yeah, thank you to everybody who's listening. Cheers to you.
Absolutely. We still have to upload episode 3, don't we?
Oh, I was working on publicizing it like right now. I actually got it ready and I just forgot to hit public.
Hell yeah. I still have to upload.
Yeah, the tags are all loaded up. I just forgot to click this one button. Okay.
I'll do
and there it is. It's live.
I'll do the SoundCloud after we get off here. I'll do SoundCloud.
Okay.
Which, unfortunately, if you are a SoundCloud listener, what happens is where we're just free to play on SoundCloud, they have a time limit, and every time I upload a new episode, the past episodes can go completely blank because it surpassed.
Is that how it works?
Yes, there's a 3-hour time limit. And
well, we can still have it all cataloged on YouTube. So
absolutely.
If you are listening on YouTube and you want to see our full library moving forward and what we've done before, or come to YouTube.
Yes, which sadly we do not currently have any finances from this, but hopefully in the future if it happens, it happens.
Hit the like button, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that. Smash that motherfucking like button.
Smash that motherfucking like button.
If you do want to
support
the show to where we can monetarily maybe pay for SoundCloud one day.
The $16 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Once we have more than 7 subscribers, I don't know, how long should we wait before we bother making a Patreon for this?
The day I see consistent YouTube comments.
That's a good basis. You know what? My mom started a Patreon recently.
Really? Oh yeah, she's a YouTuber.
Oh my god, yeah. My mom is a YouTuber.
Absolutely. Should I give her a shout
out?
out?
Hope she doesn't find this.
No.
No, because I don't want this traced back to me. I'm sure my mom will know I do this, but like I'm just gonna tell her straight up if she asks me about it. I'm like, listen, Mom, don't watch my show. I said the F word, and she'll be like, okay, I won't watch it.
Yeah. I don't want my parents to find this.
Yeah. I don't care if they know about it, but just like I think I'm to the point where my parents where I can say, don't watch my show. I say the F word, and they're like, okay.
Oh yeah, your mom has 9,000 subscribers, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
She's a
she's doing affiliate deals and brand videos. Like, it's insane.
She is a YouTuber.
She is a YouTuber.
And she has... Oh my god, that's so precious. She has your little sister, your cousin, your fiance, and somebody else as featured channels.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Let's see if we can get ClapTrap as a featured channel on her crafting. On her crafting channel.
I think she would do it, but God, that would be such a blight on her brand.
Yeah, it would be, and I do not wish that upon her.
No. This is
I almost feel bad even mentioning her show in this setting.
There was her show has not been mentioned. I'm just giving her credit where credit is due.
Right. But like just the fact that it's out there, like I feel like, oh no, that is in some way linked with this on a cosmological level. And I'm sorry, Mom. I love you, and I hope you never. Oh my god! Because imagine the kind of people who will listen to this show once we have an audience base. I do not want those people anywhere near my mother.
Well, realistically, with the thumbnails you make, I can see people coming in from fantasy world building, weaponry. I feel like our audience is going to be very mixed, and I feel like if we have 50 subscribers, we would maybe get, they'll watch the shows that interest them, and if we cover a topic that doesn't interest them, then they'll skip it that week, and I'm okay with that. I really am.
Yeah, fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Like, what kind of sleep are we losing? This is truly low-effort content. I hate to put it that way, but we're just chilling and talking.
Yeah.
That's what we'd be doing anyway.
I mean, the whole reason we started doing this show was because it would be low effort. Because we have much higher effort things we want to do later in life, and this is a means to that end. For me personally, I don't know about you, but yeah, I want ClapTrap to feed my other projects.
Yeah.
Not to say that I am not passionate about seeing this podcast grow.
Oh yeah, I have lots of vision.
But not quite so much as anything else I want to do.
Yeah. This to me, I mean, I pitched this idea because I was bored.
I mean, fair. That's fair.
And I just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's start a podcast. And that's, to me, that's, it grew. It is blossoming slowly, and I'm proud of it. And I think weekly consistent content will help us in the algorithm. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I know consistently uploading. Ooh, I actually had an idea while pooping. I want to do a, You outed yourself, dog. Now everybody knows you poop. Fuck. So I'm going to, with your consent, I'm probably going to do an episode where I show the process of me editing the audio.
That's fine. Yeah. Is it an interesting process?
It's a tutorial.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have a problem with that. I wouldn't watch it, but you can do it.
Yeah, which would introduce playlists to the channel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
And I think
we are planning on expanding what we do on this channel at some point. But yeah, I think the main show should be our focus right now, considering this is episode 4.
Yes, absolutely. It's a process. We talk very in detail about our ideas, and we pitch them off each other and meditate on it for a spell. And there are some things that get greenlit, like the Halloween special was greenlit. We're throwing around the idea of an RPG show in the future, and
Spellcast, I think, is greenlit.
Spellcast is greenlit in my eyes, and
Have we mentioned Spellcast on the show?
No. So we're thinking about doing a. We might have. Whatever. We're thinking about doing a tabletop role-playing game show called Spellcast. And I have music written for it already.
You didn't even tell me that.
Yeah, it was actually... What happened was when I was... See, I wrote and recorded the music, the intro and outro music to this show. And the original music, I listened to it and I thought, wow, that's really good. I'm going to use that for Zed Dalen. Because it sounded all fantasy-like.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just like, I'll just use it for Spellcast. Because it sounds like pub music. Fantasy pub music.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It'll be really cool to edit that in and like have different like kinds of music happening for like what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
Like battle music for fighting, and then pub music, or just foresty sounds, like when we're just our characters are doing whatever.
That would certainly challenge me as a composer.
Yeah. So that'll be good in all kinds of ways.
Mm-hmm. I actually have something to show you. So,
please.
For the fantasy role-playing show, there's this role-playing system called Basic Fantasy Role-Playing. And it's a system based around the role-playing of the 80s, of D&D in the 80s and 70s. It's old-school role-playing. And the reason I'm interested in it is because, we're relatively novices for D&D. This game is 2 books, your core rule book, and your creature manual. Now get this, it's $8 for both, together.
Let's go.
And they give the PDF for free on their website. And it's called Basic Fantasy Roleplaying, and I'm actually going to send it to you now. And I think that would be something to look into doing. Yeah, so the core rulebook, 3rd edition, is $5, and the Basic Fantasy Field Guide is $3.80. And I think that would be a good gateway into us playing for Spellcast.
Yeah.
Because it's traditional role-playing for a lot of hardcore role-playing geeks. And it's 2 180-page books, so we don't have like 3 or 4 $50 books we have to learn.
Right.
Which,
I mean, yeah, we shouldn't be completely relegated to D&D.
Yeah. And where this is just, it is what it is, basic fantasy role-playing. And for $8, I think that would be, well, $8 for a good-ass game. I've never heard anyone say a bad word about it.
We'll check it out.
Yeah.
If it ends up sucking, then we can just make fun of it, so...
Mm-hmm. I got the PDF. I'll probably print it out and read it hardcore, and if I really like it, I'll give the green light for it.
Okay.
So yeah, Spellcast. Look for it in the future, but not the near future.
No. Not the near future.
We're concentrating on podcasting right now, and I'll probably do the episode on the podcast editing tutorial on this episode, honestly. No, not this episode. This episode's hitting 2 hours.
That's a good rounded number, I think.
Yeah.
Let's keep going since we're so close, just to say we hit the 2 hour mark.
Alright, cool. Yeah. So, let's fill some time for 9 minutes.
Okay. I'm working on the thumbnail, actually, because I put up episode 3, but I didn't make the thumbnail, and I remembered you made a joke that I would get to put Spider-Man next to an anime waifu in the thumbnail.
Yes, you have to.
And that's what I'm doing, and you are going to be so happy with what I'm making here.
Oh, God, that's going to be amazing.
Episode 3 sucked, and nobody listened to it, but just go look at the thumbnail, because that's fantastic.
The problem with episode 3 is I was exhausted. And you just got off a road trip?
I too was exhausted.
Trip?
I had just got off. I had just gotten into the house and ran around, like getting my mic set up and everything. Mm-hmm. And it was not a good time.
Yeah.
And the episode was only like an hour long, and like I don't think we said pretty much anything of substance. I think I kept a performative voice on, but I didn't really say anything worth hearing.
Yeah, like, we got to talking about... It was such a juicy topic. I'd like to retry it eventually, but...
You know what? I think we definitely should.
Yeah.
Because I think the title and this masterful thumbnail I'm crafting we'll get a lot of clicks compared to our other stuff.
Yes.
Because who the fuck is clicking on our chalkboard thumbnails? Maybe we should rethink that. But
yeah,
even though I really dig the aesthetic.
Yeah.
But
yeah, let's revisit it with like lots of research and do it properly, because I feel like it's the kind of thing that could grow a community around, but we sucked so hard in episode 3. We talked about food.
For like a minute. We didn't actually say anything about food even.
Oh, fuck no. We sat there and talked about cooking for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, and you just told me like a way to cook fish that I ought to try, and I was like, cool, I will.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Well, I didn't expect you to try it immediately because it's a crock pot recipe.
Yeah.
But you know, when I come up, I might make you that. If you give me the tools, I will present the talent.
The tools are here and ready for you, so.
Awesome.
Square up.
I will show you how I make the fish. I don't want to talk about this again in a second part. Like.
Yeah, for real.
Oh god, I dropped my ring. Lord. 6 minutes. This is the countdown. If you have made it this far, thank you so much. So, something else.
But fuck you, too.
Something else about.
Like, thank you, but fuck off.
Something else about episode 3 is I wasn't able to keep my podcast voice going on. Like,
oh, were you? I didn't even notice that you fell out of it.
Like, I was giggling and laughing like a maniac out of exhaustion and just being sleepy.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I was very late getting home from my road trip.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we started... We changed to, like, a later recording time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was an hour late to that recording time.
Mm-hmm.
And I apologize deeply.
Yeah. That's whatever. I mean, even now, I've rescheduled the recording for a day early.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's fine.
We
It's not like I had plans or anything, asshole.
Oh, yeah, well.
I didn't.
Yeah, we usually record on Sunday nights, and it is currently Saturday night. 10:13 p.m. EST. A look inside what it means to be a ClapTrapper.
Gross. Don't ever say that again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that term to stick.
No.
What
other plans do we have? Are we ever going to do anything on Twitch TV?
For what?
Are we ever going to do this on Twitch TV?
Oh, I mean, sure.
I was thinking.
Maybe not this, but we could do something.
Yeah, like, after we grow a decent following, I'd love to do a holiday special on Twitch TV. Hype it up for a few episodes. Do a trailer for it on the YouTube channel. But that's when we have a big following.
Yeah. Sounds like fun, though.
Mm-hmm.
Twitch streams will probably not be a place for just the regular show content.
Yeah.
But just for bonus stuff, like when we want to play a game together or something. Or maybe we could do like a fucking Q&A thing or something, since there's audience involvement.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. We're constantly planning on growing and expanding. This is a serious project.
Yeah.
All right, 2.5 more minutes till we hit that 2-hour mark, which will be a record for us.
Oh, you know what? Mm-hmm. The episode won't be that long because of the breaks we took anyway.
Uh-oh. Should we... Oh, no. That's right. We took about 10 minutes worth of breaks. Should we stretch out to 2:10?
I mean, hell, I can keep going if you got something to say.
Christ. Nobody's listening at this point. They've clicked away.
I'm listening.
I'm listening.
I'm here.
Yeah.
So, let's hear what you got to say, kid.
All right, cool. Yeah, back to Spellcast. I may print off the PDF for it.
Uh-huh.
And I'll probably just send you the PDF over Discord to save you a headache. Which, you know what, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to do that right now. I'm actually currently hoarding different RPG PDFs as research material. And I'm going to tell you about one of them that's really, really funny. off podcast because I don't want this to have a age restriction on it.
Well, I do.
I don't. Well, I mean, I think it just depends. Like, I don't want it to be. I want it to be like PG-13, but not like PG-13.
Dude, I don't care even. Like, it's the internet. I think we talked about this before. Mm-hmm. You're on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's all NSFW.
Yeah.
Get out if you're not an adult.
Well, I mean, I certainly don't want to make it like 18 plus. Like,
yeah.
I don't want YouTube to cuck us.
Well, no. But YouTube cucks for the reasons they want to, whether or not they're viable.
Mm-hmm.
So, I say fuck it, whatever.
Okay, so one thing I would like you to do is, because you're a big art critic, I'd like you to look at the field guide to this. And
did you send it?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
Okay.
Okay, so what's interesting about this game itself is it was a fan... Damn it. Too big for this.
Fan, damn it?
It's too big for Discord. So...
just email it to me, whatever.
But the art was all like fan done, and it's done in like pencil sketch, and I really, really like it. But you can tell it was like
pencil sketch can look very good if you do it right.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm excited to see it.
I am too. Or I'm looking at it right now, and it's all like really. You can tell it's like really good fan art. And I think it's really gorgeous.
All right, I'll check it out in a little bit, and I'll tell you what you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll probably email it.
Right now, what I want you to do is go to our YouTube page and look at the thumbnail for episode 3.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. I am so fucking excited for this. All right.
It just all came together.
Oh my god.
And I think that episode's title definitely warranted a question mark. So I put that in there.
Okay. Which reminds me, fucking watch Violet Evergarden. It's fucking amazing. I finished it recently.
I have heard things about Violet Evergarden, and what I have heard is that the production value is very high and that the writing is subpar.
It was great, Trent. It was good.
Well, we'll see about that. No, I'll be taking notes, and I'll be back to fuck you in the throat if it was bad.
Fucking episode 10 had me in tears.
Well, it's because you're a pussy bitch. So
fair enough. I'm a very emotional person when it comes to a good story.
Yeah.
All right, this is pretty awesome. 7 subscribers. I'm so proud. In 4 weeks, that's growth.
I'd like this to be the time we look back and say, wow, look at these little boys being so proud they have 7 subscribers when now they've got 8 million. But let's be real, 8 is a lofty goal.
8 is a lofty goal. I'd like... Look, on my main YouTube channel, Zed Dalen, by the way, I have 34 subscribers.
Yeah, dude, if we get 1,000 subscribers, I will consider this a massive success.
Yeah, I will sob. If I get anywhere near your mother's success on YouTube, I will cry like a bitch.
Yeah, for real.
Live on Twitch, I will cry.
Maybe there's more competition for what we were doing, though.
Yeah. Yeah, your mother's channel is very pure with the proper, kind, G-rated audience, and it's...
Yeah. Maybe we should refrain from mentioning it anymore so we don't accidentally send trolls over there.
I want nothing. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't think anybody will make it this far, and I doubt they'll ever find it.
Yeah.
God, episode 3 has a masterpiece.
It's got a masterpiece thumbnail and like the worst actual podcast content.
We need to research hard and try again for that one.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe we should. Excuse me. Like maybe drop our aesthetic as far as the thumbnails are concerned, because that's where you get your clicks. And like, I'm concerned we're gonna get clicks with this one on the worst episode because it's got an anime girl in there, and it's got these bright colors, and it's like people are gonna click on that. That's what people want to click on. I'm looking at that and I'm like, I'd fucking click on that.
I would too.
So maybe we should rethink how we do our thumbnails moving forward.
I like the chalkboard aesthetic.
I do too, and we can keep it for the episode and the channel art, but you know, the thumbnails can maybe be whatever.
Yeah,
because the chalkboard aesthetic is good, but it's not inviting enough.
It's not clickbaity. Just say it.
Which, I mean, you know what? Clickbait is, you know, it's got a negative connotation, but whatever. It's just marketing. Like, there's nothing wrong with marketing.
No, not at all.
Like if you clickbait and just, like, lie about some sleazy shit, that's bad.
That is bad.
But if you're just marketing your video in a clever way, like, clickbait is fine.
Like, I think there's a right and wrong way to do it. I mean, we're not putting, like, all caps, oh my god, look at this, life-changing, you'll lose your ass, laughing.
12-year-old sister eats my asshole, question mark?
Yeah, exactly.
Clicked.
Yeah. I feel like, as far as clickbait's concerned...
That's where it goes bad, but...
yeah, we are...
I think putting an anime girl in the thumbnail is okay.
Especially one that's just from, like, the neck up.
Yeah.
Oh, anime titty.
Oh my god, we should do an entire episode just on anime titty. Zed, don't fucking lie to me. I know you're not as much of a weeb, but I know we've both got a heavy catalog of hentai under both of our belts.
Yeah.
Hentai cast.
I don't want to...
Are we getting ready to wrap it up, or are we still going? We're at 2:06.
I think 2:15 will be the edit time.
Okay.
To hit 200. And if not, I'll...
200, 2 hours.
Yeah. I'll make
200 minutes.
I'll make sure it hits 200. And edit.
2 hours.
Because I remember the first break, it took 8 minutes.
Yeah.
In specifics, so I want to hit this goal.
I'm sure we'll get it at some point, but like, because we've been averaging hour and a half, so
yeah,
it's not too far off. We just have to find something we really want to talk about, and weapons was one of those things. We've been going. We went pretty hard and stayed on topic on weapons for like at least an hour.
Absolutely.
And then we talked about hunting for almost an hour. Yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's weaponry. Well,
yeah, so
tools, weapons, however you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna title this episode Weapons Hunting Alcohol.
Oh Lord, our audience is going to be so confused.
yeah, like seeing that next to episode 3. Anime, Minecraft, hunting, bourbon.
Oh, I hope after sitting here for 2 hours, I hope YouTube doesn't strike us down. Because YouTube
doesn't what?
Doesn't strike the video down. Because YouTube.
Oh, for what? Having something about guns and hunting in it.
Yeah, because like YouTube was going through a kick where they were taking down Destiny 2 videos for guns.
You're shitting me.
Look it up.
I will definitely look that up once we're done with recording, but holy shit. Like the anti-gun craze is like whatever you want to say about it. It's like just chill.
Yeah. Like don't attack video games.
Hell, Trump even went after video games recently, didn't he?
Yep.
That motherfucker.
That's
like, listen, us gamers got to band together because it's us against the world. All right?
It's like the 1980s Christian scare all over again against D&D.
I watched this was I suggested that video because I was logged into ClapTrap? But last night I watched this 30-minute video called D&D versus the Satanic Panic.
I saw that in my recommended today.
It was, it gave me a little bit of history that I didn't know, and in some context, but it was informative and fun, but not in like a it was no documentary, but it was fun, and I would go check it out if you have 30 minutes to burn.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but it's been in my recommended. I've watched video content on that, and it's really depressing. Like
I remember, like I was seeing that, like I was seeing some weird recommendeds, and I was like, like why I don't watch anything like this, and then I realized I was logged into the ClapTrap YouTube, and that you had been watching weird shit.
I'm very sorry. I realized because I occasionally log in and forget to log out.
You cut out. What'd you say?
I sometimes log in and forget to log out. And I came to that realization today, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, he's going to get an idea of my YouTube hours. And
I have gotten that, and I'm concerned about you, and I think we should talk. And does your father know about this?
You probably just see a lot of Channel Awesome on there, because I'm going through a Channel Awesome phase right now, watching a lot of that.
I saw some Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah, I've watched a bit of that. So,
cool.
It's nothing embarrassing. You probably see occasional League videos on there, and probably some Fallout videos. Oh well. I'm gonna make a conscious effort not to do that.
No, do it so I can like spy on you.
That's creepy. Don't do that. That's creepy.
He.
Fucking. I'm gonna burn 4 minutes. So, back in high school.
Burn as many minutes as you want. Let's just make sure we get the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, back in high school.
Burn.
Huh?
Go.
Back in high school, everybody thought me and Trent were dating, even though we weren't and have never.
As far as you know.
So it was like there was an entire just sect of my friends group who thought, yeah, that was the thing, and that I was cheating on you with another friend of mine.
I thought you were cheating on him with me.
I thought
that was because you were friends with him first, right?
No, fuck no.
You weren't friends with Jared before me?
No.
I mean, certain guy.
It's a first name.
Because I'm not name dropping. Yeah.
No, fuck
Whatever.
no. I knew you. I've known you since middle school. And
when did you meet Jay then?
Sophomore year of high school.
Well, shit, you guys seem pretty tight from the beginning. I thought
no, I met him.
You had met like freshman year when I was still in 8th grade.
No, we did meet freshman year, but we didn't really like get to know each other. But that year when we had a class together, we got to know each other, and we were pretty tight. Sadly.
Well, were you and me tight my first year there? I know we were good friends, but I thought we weren't really like hard in the paint until the second year we were there together.
Yeah, because you were going through a very strange phase.
I was. High school was such a culture shock to me.
And you were just a guy in the group. At the time, you were a good friend. I loved hanging out with you.
That was all I was comfortable with being for a while. Just it was hard.
Yeah, and I feel like we didn't get to know each other on that intimate level until our second year.
I feel like the first year definitely laid the foundation for everything that immediately happened the second year, though.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to cut this out with your consent and make a single episode on it, or a single like one-off thing. This is the story of how me and Trent met.
Oh, what the fuck? Do not do this to me right now.
Okay, so it was my 8th grade year and his 7th grade year, and we were both
plug my ears.
We were both chasing after the same girl. And
What were we?
yeah,
I don't
I'm gonna type.
remember that.
I typed it. So we were both chasing after the same girl,
Oh my god.
and
You just opened like a can of fucking...
what happened?
Wait. I don't remember you being involved in that contest. I remember me and Dylan. Oh my god, you were a part of it.
I dated her there for a
Fuck.
spell too.
So did I for like 20 minutes.
It's a couple months.
Eighth grade, of course. That's not really dating, but...
So what happened was, I was like sitting there because it was all very civil. We were all very good friends, but we were all trying to like impress her because we were children. And
Yeah.
I was like, "Hi, I'm Andrew," and Trent was like, "Hi, I'm the."
You're fucking what? Have you said your real name on this show before?
I've not said my real name.
Oh, you outed yourself, motherfucker.
And
I will never think of you as Andrew. Get fucked.
and he goes verbatim, "I'm the chosen one."
Did I say that to her?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought I said it to you.
And I had a million questions.
Did it work on her? Did she believe that I was the chosen
I
one?
can't remember.
Was she impressed by my noble destiny?
Well, you dated her for 20 minutes, so.
So, yes, is what you're saying.
And I had a million questions.
Right. I thought I said it as a joke to fuck with you. And then you were like, wait, what if he's telling the truth?
And I was really fucking excited.
Well, I'm still here, so was I the chosen one?
And I don't remember much about what happened, but I remember one thing. You were dragging this shit on for so long, and you were talking about how every morning you would eat your chosen eggs.
Chosen eggs?
And they would always go to your...
Oh my god.
But you were like... You said something about eating them and made a joke about going to your chosen thighs.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It went straight to my...
Yep.
Straight to my thighs. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was going through puberty and I was developing a very womanly figure. And I was confused about it.
This is getting cut out and uploaded. How's Zed and T met?
Christ almighty.
That's not a bad idea to cut out certain segments and make individual episodes.
I think you put the wrong timestamp in the chat.
I like to go a little before.
You went an hour before.
I did, didn't I? But
Okay.
I should do that with the battery story.
Yeah, just as like have it included in the episode, but also cut out and made its own individual. Yeah. You know what H3H3 does that?
Yeah.
They have their podcast and then they have the podcast highlights.
Yeah, I'll do. That's not. It'll be a side project, but I'll eventually start working on highlights.
Yeah. Oh my god, I could make like animatics, like chalkboard animatics for like really good stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be a massive amount of work, I think. Maybe not massive. I could do it in a couple of days, but it would be a palpable amount of work.
Yeah.
But with the battery story, it would be worth it. Like
It
things
would.
like that, things that are on that level, it would be worth it.
It would be so worth it. And the story of how we met. Oh god. I promised.
Was there any more to that?
No. I promise not to tell the Zodon story. But by God, I will tell this one.
Oh my god.
Because
All
I
right,
think
make
it's...
a timestamp of this because I'll let you know if I'm going to let it in the show.
What now?
Make a timestamp of before you start talking because I'll tell you if I'm going to let this in the fucking episode or not.
I already did.
Okay.
We're at 2:18. I think we've hit the 2-hour mark. Do you want to keep going or do you want to send us off?
I could go either way. If you got more to say, say your piece. If you don't, fuck off.
I think I've said all I want to say for a podcast, but we could talk a little afterwards because I want to talk a little bit about Spellcast.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Send us off.
Some behind the scenes.
Choose.
Right. I have to do the outro.
Oh, it's my turn to choose.
Yeah. It's your turn to pick next week's topic.
That's exciting.
I almost forgot. Make it a good one so we don't have another fucking episode 3.
Role-playing games.
Huh. Okay.
I want to do role-playing games. That episode 5 will be role-playing games.
All right, cool. And that will be a good pair from episode 1.
Mm-hmm. And this isn't going to be me self-plugging. I'm not even going to mention that project. This is just me talking about role-playing games as on a broad spectrum. Because I have...
you can plug yourself, man. I don't care if you want to plug your side projects and your personal projects.
Not
That's fine.
nearly close enough.
All right.
Off podcast.
God knows when I'm ready, I'm going to be plugging mine on this show.
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. Once I get from point A to point B properly, abso-fucking-lutely. Okay, so I've chosen. We're doing role-playing games. Send us out, Trent. Send us out with a banker.
Coochie.